Hello, everyone. It's Channy, and I just wanted to say hello from San Diego. I know it's been about 7 months since I last posted, and obviously a lot has changed. I was supposed to be in Japan my entire enlistment till 2025, but here I am in San Diego on LIMDU orders. So I got sent LIMDU anyway. I did try to tell my doctor that if it came down to it for the psoriasis, I would just get off everything so I can finish up my time in Japan and just leave and get out, do my thing, move on with my life. But I guess a doctor on the boat thought that it would be more beneficial if they got rid of me. So without hearing my wishes or that I would rather just get off all the medication, he put in the paperwork. My command didn't know until I got new orders, and then I had 5 days to PCS from Japan back to the States to my new command because I got an email saying I had new orders. I got here in January, I believe on January 14th, and I forgot to stamp my orders when I left because it was such a short time period. I was trying to pack, get home goods so they could pick up my shipment, get it on the boat so that I could have it over here, get everything, my transfer eval done. It was a lot to do. I think I pretty much had 5 working days to do it and, relocate my entire life back to San Diego and start anew. Thankfully, I did have a friend already living here. His name is Austin. We connected really well before I went over to Japan, and we met through our mutual friend, Amanda. So I reached out to Austin because it turns out that he is also now on LIMDU, and I was going to his command. So I was like, hey, I'm going to be out there. So glad that I have you. And he was like, perfect timing. I actually have a room available if you want to move in. I know that finding housing is going to be kind of crazy. And I was like, oh no, it should be fine. It is so expensive here in San Diego. Thank God for Austin. So I rent his room, his spare bedroom. I live with him and his boyfriend, and it's honestly a godsend. I don't think I would have transitioned as well as I did if I didn't have such a great support system that was already over here. A girl from my last command in Japan was here as well. She picked me up from the airport. She kind of walked me through the process because I don't really know much about LIMDU. Even being here, it's April now. I still don't know what I'm doing or how the program works or any of that. But I figured since I was over here, now I can get the help that I need. And Austin really helped me set down roots, now. Back in the States, in San Diego, I don't have to translate everything when I walk out the door. My stress levels and my happiness are they're getting better every day. I didn't realize how hard Japan was on me. Not just the culture or anything like that, but the command and the work. And I'm just glad that I'm here now and that we're getting the help that we need. Austin had an extra car that I was able to borrow until I bought mine, which was great. The car market here is also very expensive. He had a Ford Focus. It's just like an A to B car. I loved it so much, I went out and I bought a Ford Focus. So I named him Chad. He is a manual because he was a lot cheaper than all the automatics here. I think I only spent like $3,000 on him, and I was able to sell my car back in Japan. So I just used the money towards Chad. So it was really nice. Worked out really well. Now that I'm here, I figured we should just probably get this psoriasis under control. So this is the whole reason why they sent me LIMDU. I am now on medication called Humira. I think it's mostly for rheumatoid arthritis, but it blocks inflammation. So I did end up getting off the Otezla, which obviously you can see we've been struggling maybe a little bit. And after I got off the Otezla, I was really scared to start the Humira because it makes you immunocompromised. It also has to be stored in the fridge. That's why I cannot have it and be deployable. So it took me a while to work up the courage because your first time taking Humira, you have to take a double dose. Thankfully, it comes in these little EpiPens. The needle is there, and you just put it against the skin, and then you plunge this button, and the needle comes out automatically, and you just watch this little window go all the way yellow, and then that's how you know your medicine has been dispensed. But I was super nervous, so it took me a while to start them. I've only been on it 8 days now. I just took another dose last night, and then I think it'll be every 2 weeks. I dose myself with this little EpiPen looking guy. But just being on it 8 days, I've noticed a big difference. When I was transitioning from Otezla to Humira, I was hurting myself, like my skin, you cut yourself shaving or something happens, you get a zit or anything like that. Well, my body then, because of the trauma of the skin, was turning into psoriasis in those areas. And so it started to spread a lot quicker than I thought. But now that I'm on the Humira pen, it's been a lot better. And I feel like, I know it doesn't look that good to you guys, but just the inflammation has gone down. I mean, it's getting a lot more flaky, but I feel like it's flaking off and then not coming back. So psoriasis is just a buildup, right, of skin cells in that area. So my skin is just renewing and it's producing skin cells too fast. So the other skin cells don't have time to fall off. So it just builds and builds and builds. And I think it's looking pretty good. Obviously, not great. But I'm ready. I'm ready to get this over with. The only thing I'm worried about is I did go to my dermatologist, my new one here in San Diego, who put me on the Humira, and she was like, hey, we see that you're on LIMDU. We don't really know how this works. We're kind of learning with you guys. Just so you know, this makes you undeployable. And I was like, yes, I do know that. I'm hoping that we can continue the rest of the contract just being on shore duty or, one of the sea commands that doesn't really deploy, or I can be on beach dead or something. So she was just as confused as I was with the process, which didn't make me feel very confident about getting off of LIMDU, but hopefully we can do that. And I don't really know how you stay in with, like limitations, but I know it can be done. So it's been a learning process. We're trying. I did check into my new command, and when I did that, I noticed that I forgot to get my orders stamped when I left Japan. That caused a lot of drama, but I was able to contact my PSs from my previous command. They sent me new PDF file orders with the stamp when I left. And my new command, they didn't really care. They took it. It was fine. People think it's a big deal, but I feel like I've done everything kind of wrong and backwards in the Navy, and it's all worked out and it's okay. So if you mess up, it's fine. Just keep going with it. You got to figure it out eventually. It might be a headache, but there's nothing else to do. You got to do it. Other than that, I've been really wanting to, since I've been on limited duty, LIMDU is what they call it, right? I checked into the first lieutenant, so I'm not even really doing my job. I'm working with the ITs right now, not the ATs. And I'll be honest, it's great. I feel like I should have been an IT from the beginning, but that's all right. We're going to get off LIMDU. But what I've noticed is a lot of people are getting out. They're getting processed out for medical issues, and I really don't want that to happen. Now that I'm here and getting the help that I need, I really just want to stay in, finish out my time. And before I wasn't even thinking about the reserves, but now I actually am. So I really want to try to do active reserves after my contract. And that way, I think my 5 years active duty goes towards getting like my pension in the active reserve. So I would only have to do 15 more years, and then I could, do the retirement, I think. I really don't know. I'm still trying to learn all of this. And right now, I'm trying to do the research on how to transition from active duty to the reserve because it seems to be a lot of confusion inside the Navy as well on how to do that. But if not the Navy, I really actually wanted to maybe do the Air National Guard. That seems a little more my style. I love the Navy, that it's close to water and on shores, beaches, all that good stuff. But I hate being on a boat. I do not want to go back to a boat. And I would rather, I think, be in the Air National Guard and get deployed somewhere and sleep in a tent in the desert because I do that anyway for fun. I know it wouldn't be as fun doing it for the military, but I think that would fit my lifestyle a lot more. So that's also another thing I have to look into. Obviously, I'm still in for 2 more years at the moment. My LIMDU should be coming up here in July. Got here in January. I've really just been concentrating on getting all my medical stuff done. Right now, I'm a dental class 3. I think I have to have a root canal. So we're just trying to get everything taken care of now that I'm back in the States and on shore. It's a lot easier. Getting medical in Japan, that's why they have like overseas screenings because it's just not as easy. Sometimes we don't have the resources. So now that I'm here, I'm getting all caught up. Happy, healthy. I'm on my way to the gym. Got a Crunch membership. So, we're going to walk down, try to be healthy, get back on track, and then go from there. As always, you guys can find me on Instagram. I would not reach out to me on YouTube just because I am so inconsistent with checking it or posting it. I also I don't know. I don't like watching myself, so I think I try to avoid it. But other than that, if you have questions, just reach out to me. Thank you. Bye.